First-person fiction. It's scary how many details I remember about the night Karen left. That's the thing I hate most about my brain, the way it stores and catalogs things. All this dumb shit on a giant hard drive in my head, so I'm forced to obsess over it all like a crazy person. Here's a perfect example. Our waiter had a button stuck to his apron that said, "Ask me about bacon time." Why in the hell would I remember that? He had to have been wearing like 30 buttons. They always do. But that's the one I remember. He brought us our food, I saw the button, and I wondered if he was ever tempted to wear it outside of work, like with jeans and a t-shirt, just hanging out with his friends. Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham was playing. Blast from the past, I know, but talk about a jagged little piece of pop music irony. Here's the worst detail of all. Worse than Wham, even if you can believe it. It all happened at Applebee's. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a snob. I don't have a problem with Applebee's per se, but I think we can all agree as a civilized society that life shouldn't change there. Significant things shouldn't begin or end at Applebee's. You shouldn't walk into Applebee's as one thing and then leave as something else entirely. Third person and characters. I'm not saying gay people aren't nice. I'm saying, is this the best environment for you, honey? I mean, you share a bedroom. You share a bathroom. Doesn't that make you uncomfortable? I sure hope so, said his dad. Henry's heart fell. Would they make him come home? He didn't want to go home. His total failure so far, to make friends, to get good grades, or even to find Mike Schwartz, made him more loath to go home than if he were having, like everybody around him seemed to be having, the world's most wonderful time. Would they put you in a room with a girl? His mom asked. At your age? Never. Never in a million years. So why would they do this? It makes no sense to me. If there was a flaw in his mom's logic, Henry couldn't find it. Would his parents make him switch rooms? That would be horrible. Worse than embarrassing, to go to the housing office and request a new room assignment. His mom cleared her throat in preparation for further revelation. We hear he's been buying you clothes. 2 weeks prior, on Saturday morning, Henry had been playing Tetris when Owen and Jason walked in. Owen calm and chipper as always, Jason sleepy-eyed and carrying a big paper cup of coffee. Henry closed the Tetris window, opened the website for his physics class. Hey guys, he said. What's up? We're going shopping, said Owen. Oh, cool. Have fun. The we is inclusive. Please put on your shoes. Oh, that's okay, Henry said. I'm not much of a shopper. But you're not a master of litotes, Jason said. Litotes. Henry repeated it to himself so that he could look it up later. Third person and characters. It's the day before New Year's Eve in a not particularly large town. A police officer and a real estate agent are sitting in an interview room at the police station. The policeman looks barely 20, but is probably older, and the real estate agent looks more than 40, but is probably younger. The police officer's uniform is too small, the real estate agent's jacket slightly too large. The real estate agent looks like she'd rather be somewhere else, and after the past 15 minutes of conversation, the policeman looks like he wishes the real estate agent were somewhere else too. When the real estate agent smiles nervously and opens her mouth to say something, the policeman breathes in and out in a way that makes it hard to tell if he's sighing or just trying to clear his nose. Just answer the question, he pleads. The realtor nods quickly and blurts out, How's tricks? I said just answer the question, the policeman repeats, with an expression common in grown men who were disappointed by life at some point in their childhood. You asked me what my real estate agency is called, the realtor insists, drumming her fingers on the tabletop in a way that makes the policeman feel like throwing objects with sharp corners at her. No, I didn't. I asked if the perpetrator who held you hostage together with... It's called house tricks. Nonfiction. By the century's end, discrepancies in the idea of an all-pervading ether began to appear. It was expected that light would travel at a fixed speed through the ether, but that if you were traveling through the ether in the same direction as the light, its speed would appear lower. And if you were traveling in the opposite direction of the light, its speed would appear higher. Yet a series of experiments failed to support this idea. The most careful and accurate of these experiments was carried out by Albert Michelson and Edward Morley at the Case School of Applied Science in Cleveland, Ohio in 1887. They compared the speed of light in two beams at right angles to each other. As the Earth rotates on its axis and orbits the Sun, the apparatus moves through the ether with varying speed and direction. But Michelson and Morley found no daily or yearly differences between the two beams of light. It was as if light always traveled at the same speed relative to where one was, no matter how fast and in which direction one was moving. Based on the Michelson-Morley experiment, the Irish physicist George Fitzgerald and the Dutch physicist Hendrik Lorentz suggested the bodies moving through the ether would contract and the clocks would slow down. This contraction and the slowing down of clocks would be such that people would all measure the same speed for light, no matter how they were moving with respect to the ether.